A lot of people in the church, just for example, they'll be retired and then they retire from all church service. You might have a certain plan in place, but God might bring something else on your path that you weren't quite expecting.
This is a Truth Transforms Truth Nugget, a daily dose of truth for your daily transformation.
Do you have something that you need to submit to the Lord's will? We need to submit all of our plans to God. We need to be prayerful and humbly submitted to the sovereign will of God when we determine our actions and map out our plans for the next phase of our work life, church life, family life, or any other part of our life. And God is glorified when our plans are humbly submitted to His will. Well, let's look at verse 14 now. Verse 14 shows us pride revealed. The pride of this businessman was revealed, and our pride might also be revealed if we live life in a way that loses focus on our place before God and our time on this earth. Verse 14. Yet you do not know what tomorrow will bring. What is your life? For you are a mist that appears for a little time and then vanishes. So James now reminds them of the temporary nature of this life, and reminds them that they don't know what tomorrow looks like. He says, you don't even know what tomorrow looks like. He reminds them that they don't know the future, that life is temporary, that they're not God. So he says, stop acting like God. Stop acting like God in your plan making or in any area of your life. So he says, what is your life? Life is temporary. It's just a reminder of how temporary this life is. He rebukes them by saying, for you are a mist that appears for a little time and then vanishes. So he's again reminding them of this momentary life, reminding them of really the insignificance of this life in the grand scheme of things, the insignificance in worldly pursuits in this life. So James says that it's only a mist. This life is but a mist. Job declared that our days on this earth are determined. He said elsewhere, my life is a breath. And King David declared, as for man, his days are like grass. He also cried out, for my days pass away like smoke, and my bones burn like a furnace. We're just passing through this life. It's really just a small fraction of our eternal destiny. It is a very minimal part of the eternal life that we have through Jesus Christ. There are much greater things to be looking forward to. So all of our plans then must be submitted to God. We need to make sure that we're not falling into any kind of prideful areas of our planning, just like we see that there was a pride revealed in this businessman's planning. The pride of these businessmen was revealed. They lost perspective. They did not act like God was concerned with their plans, and they lived as if their life on earth was their final dwelling place. And we don't want to live on this earth as if this is all that there is. We don't want to fall into that trap. We want to keep an eternal perspective. We want to maintain a heavenly perspective. That's an important thing to have. And so they did not live in a way that glorified God, and we need to live in a way that glorifies God. Planning for retirement, of course, is a very common thing to do, especially in America where people have great luxury and ability to be able to retire and not work for an employer full-time anymore. And people have different ideas of what retirement is. Some people move on and they do a lot of work around the house. Other people travel around and spend time with family. Other people work just as hard at many different things as they did their whole life. But regardless of what retirement looks like for you, whether you are retired or will be retired, I think it's important to consider submitting that to God, and what He would want you to do during your retirement. And a lot of people in the church, just for example, they'll be retired and then they retire from all church service. We ought to ask God, well, God, is that what you want me to do? Or maybe at this phase in my life, if I'm a little bit more available, in the sense of not being tied to clocking in and clocking out at certain times, etc., maybe I can make my plans in a way that I could serve in the church if I see needs, and maybe if a young couple comes in the church, an older couple could disciple them. So we need to think about what is it that would honor God the best in this area in my life. And I'm not just talking about church, but that's a big area of our life. And so you can think about it. You might have a certain plan in place, but God might bring something else on your path that you weren't quite expecting. Different opportunities. And He'll use your life experience. He'll use all of your godly wisdom, your knowledge of the Word, and your different spiritual gifts that He's gifted you with to help out in different areas. And we need to pay attention to that and not just make all of our plans apart from God. So I think that's something that we all ought to consider.
Well, I do pray that was a blessing. Now do me a favor, and if you enjoyed today's Truth Nugget, go ahead and hit that like button. That really does help to spread this to more people. Also, if you're new to the channel, you've joined us in the middle of a series on the book of James. And you can find all of the Truth Nuggets on the book of James in a playlist that'll be available in the description and also on the channel homepage. God bless you, and I'll see you in the next episode.